Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to go over 5 players that you should maybe think about bringing into your team for Game Week 2. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment what players have caught your eye so far for Game Week 2, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, obviously we don't have a lot of data on these players because we've only had one game week. We're mainly going off players that obviously had a really good game, have got really good fixtures coming up, and are obviously players that you could replace current players that you have with. So, number 1, we do have James Maddison. Had a fantastic debut for Spurs in the Prem, got 2 assists, obviously didn't score. His XG isn't as high as you'd like for an attacking midfielder, but if you look at those expected assists, 0.62, and again, 2 assists, got some bonus points as well. A really good player to have into your team, and as well as that, the fixtures after Man United at home are really good, especially the 3 before Arsenal. So after they take a trip to United this weekend, they've got Bournemouth away, Burnley away, and then Sheffield United at home. Those 3 fixtures you really want to attack with the likes of a Maddison and players like that. And if you do have a little bit of money in your bank, and you do have currently got like a Matoma or an Ødegaard or something like that, like Matoma you could upgrade for $1 mil. Even if you've got Ødegaard, which is exactly what I'm thinking of doing after this game week, is after Man United at home, I'm thinking of getting rid of Ødegaard and bringing in Maddison. That will give me an extra $1 mil, and then I can use that on somebody else. And I just think he's a really good player to have in your midfield, especially for those 3 fixtures coming up. And it looks like he is going to be at the heart of a lot of the attacks. You know, he didn't have any big chances. He did get a shot in the box, which obviously is quite nice. Didn't convert, but I think he's only going to get better. Again, the United at home game may diminish these statistics a little bit, but you know, for the next 3, I think you're gonna have a really good player here. He's gonna be on set pieces as well. We don't know who's gonna be on penalties and stuff for Spurs. It probably is gonna be Richarlison, but you never know. Maddison could get a look in there. He was on pens at Leicester, so all in all, I think he's a really good option to bring in, and definitely someone you want to be having, or at least having a look at for your Game Week 2, Game Week 3 squad. Next up, we do have Ben Chilwell, an absolute masterclass against Liverpool, and it was against Liverpool as well, and his fixtures are only getting easier, and by easier I mean definitely the best run of fixtures coming up. So obviously he didn't score. He did put the ball in the back of the net, but he was offside. He was offside in the goal, which was really annoying as a Chilwell owner, but you know, you can't play against that really. It is the law of the game. But still did pick up an assist as well, and it's just how forward he was getting. He was basically playing as a left wing against that Liverpool team, and especially if he can do all this against Liverpool, who again, not necessarily one of the best defenses in the league, but are a top 6 club. You know, when he's got the likes of West Ham next, and then Luton and Forest at home, those Luton and Forest games, you're going to want at least 2 Chelsea players, and then Bournemouth away, and then Villa at home. Villa at home being the only tough fixture really out of those, and with how forward Chilwell is getting, I could see a lot of returns coming from him. You know, he's got an XG and an expected assist of 0.46. So obviously that's really good for a defender. Like 0.46 for a wingback is insane. He obviously had 1 big chance, which again was saved. He could have had a couple of goals really in that game, and he had that. Obviously the big chance was the shot in the box. But yeah, honestly, with how forward he's getting, he's definitely one of the Chelsea players that I think you have to own. You know, he does have a little bit of an injury doubt. Not necessarily that he's injured now, but he is prone to an injury. Which is obviously really unfortunate. A bit so is the other side of the coin with Reece James. It's just what you got to play with, but you know, you don't have to think negatively like that. I think you just bring him in, especially if you've got like a Gabriel or something that you do want to get rid of this week. Again, he is 0.6 more than Gabriel now. He did actually get a price rise, but if you do have those extra funds in the bank, he's definitely a player, like I say, that I think you should want in your squad. He's only going to get better, especially with these fixtures coming up. And as well as that, we're going to the other fullback as well, Reece James. Very unlucky not to get anything in that Liverpool game. Wasn't as attacking as Chilwell in that respect, but he was creating a lot of chances and could also potentially be on penalties as well for Chelsea, with Nkunku injured, because I think last season I think the manager was like it was either going to be Havertz or Reece James. So now that obviously Havertz isn't in the club, it very well could be Reece James. Again, it could be Jackson as well. It could be a different player, but in the past we have spoken about Reece James potentially taking penalties, and so if he does, that's just going to make his it's just going to make people want him even more. But obviously didn't get a goal, didn't get an assist. Like I say, not the greatest XG, only 0.01, but those expected assists, 0.82, really good. He did have a big chance, but he also created 2 big chances as well. So that's what I mean. Reece James and Chilwell are just both very good options that you're going to want in your team. And I understand that obviously doubling up on 2 Chelsea defenders does limit the amount of attackers you can have for Chelsea, but honestly I think a spine of Chilwell, James and Nicholas Jackson are probably all you're going to want until like Nkunku's back. Obviously there is the argument about bringing Sanchez in. I think that Sanchez is He's an alright option. Like, he's 4.5. If he is going to be the #1 keeper, then that's fair enough. But he is going to be blocking off either Reece James, Chilwell, or Jackson if you did want to go for all three. And again, all of those are just really, really good options. So I do understand the lightness of Sanchez, especially if you've got like a Flecken or, you know, you got a Pickford that you just want to get rid of. I wouldn't necessarily want to use a goalkeeper transfer this early on in the season, but with those fixtures coming up, you know, doubling up on that Chelsea defense could be a very good option, especially for those Luton and Forest games at home, and even Bournemouth away as well. But anyway, I think Reece James is also a really good option. If I was going to put Chilwell and Reece James against each other, I would more likely go for Chilwell. I just think he's a lot more attacking than James. From what we saw at Liverpool, again, that could be changed up. We've only had one game. You know, next game against West Ham away, it could be Chilwell that, you know, is very far back, and James who is pushing and stuff. It all depends on the fixture, which again, we've only got data from one game, so that's all we really can go off. Coming up next, we do have Mbeumo, who obviously is on penalties and scored a penalty in that game. He obviously got one goal. His XG with 1.21. He did actually miss a sitter as well. He could have come away with a couple of goals in that game, and also an expected assist of 0.10. He had 2 big chances. He had 3 shots in the box, so very, very attacking. Everything seemingly going through him, which is obviously what you want. And they do have some nice fixtures coming up as well. They've got Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home, and then Bournemouth at home. The Newcastle away fixture is a bit tough, but you know, I think they could still get a cheeky penalty in that game or something. And then Everton at home as well after. So some really nice fixtures coming up. Like I say, on penalties, everything seemingly going through him. A 90-minute man, really. Obviously, Worcester is also a nice option, but I think he did get taken off early, and as well as that, he's not on penalties. But yeah, for the 6.5 price tag, if you do currently have Matoma, or you have a midfielder that you're not really a massive fan of, and you don't have enough to go upgrade to like Maddison or something like that, then yeah, Mbeumo I think is also a very, very nice option. And again, the penalties are always just what can make or break a player. Like I say, he did have a big chance that he should have scored, but he did miss. But as well as that, the penalty just kind of made it all right, because, you know, he did convert that very, very nicely. So that's Mbeumo. And then last but not least, we have a third Chelsea player. Like I say, with the fixtures that Chelsea have got coming up, I think you just have to be bringing in a Chelsea player in the next couple of game weeks, if not this week coming up. Now, Jackson was very, very unlucky against Liverpool. I think if you are a Jackson owner, you can count yourself very, very unlucky. He definitely should have had something in that game. So obviously he didn't score, didn't get an assist, but he had an XG of 1.10 against Liverpool as well. His expected assist we're not really going to talk about, but he had 3 big chances and 4 shots in the box against Liverpool. I think he's going to run riot for the next game weeks where, you know, like I say, he goes to West Ham. Luton and Forest, I could see him getting, you know, a brace in one of those fixtures. Bournemouth away, Villa at home. Yeah, I think Nicholas Jackson is going to absolutely tear apart, really. Whilst Nkunku's out as well, I don't know if Nkunku's even going to be back for this calendar year. So for that whole time, you know, with no European football or anything like that, yeah, Jackson is going to be a really nice option to bring in. And definitely someone that I'm thinking of bringing in as well in like game week 3, maybe for that Luton game. I do currently have Ollie Watkins, so potentially could be downgrading him for it. Or I could even downgrade a midfielder to bring him in as well and go for a 3-4-3 with like Haaland, Watkins and Jackson up front. But it's one of those that you just have to think about. But yeah, Jackson potentially, like I say, could be on penalties as well. We're not sure if it's going to be him, Reece James. I don't think they've actually spoken about who's going to be on penalties for Chelsea. So again, we kind of need one to see who's going to be on it. But yeah, Jackson also a very, very good option. So those are 5 players that I would think about bringing into your teams over the next couple of game weeks. And yeah, like I say, gone through all the stats, gone through all the fixtures. They're looking pretty solid as options. So yeah, that's everything from me. If you enjoy the video, please do drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 50 likes. Leave a comment. Are you bringing in any of these players for game week 2? Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. It's everything from me, though. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.